Hello, my name is Brian. This is Football Manager 22. We're back in Malia, checking in on the Club Vision screen here on the 2nd of February 2031. They are pleased that we are meeting our club culture goals. We are well on track on our 5-year plan. We haven't really spent the original transfer budget, but well enough for them to be satisfied anyways. It's also not a very important goal. We are competitive in the Champions League. We are in the top half of La Liga, and I think we've reached the 5th round of the Copa del Rey. Over here, that I mentioned last time, we did get our junior coaching budget increased. We also got our youth recruitment increased, and we are working on improving our youth facilities. So all of our lines are going up. So state-of-the-art training facilities, great youth facilities, excellent academy coaching, excellent youth recruitment, and that great youth facility should be probably, I think, exceptional next time. So thumbs up there. We are just coming out of the winter transfer window, and we did really not much. We loaned out like our 18-year-old goalkeeper to somebody, Antequera apparently, and we loaned in a left back from Mönchengladbach. We managed to do that on the 4th. This was an AFCON year. AFCON is still going on, actually. Luckily for us, all of the countries that our players are on kind of stink at it. So the final 4 is Ghana, Algeria, Morocco, and Senegal. Again, I describe this as a slightly surprising bunch. I don't believe Ghana or Senegal are loaded. Defending champions Democratic Republic of the Congo got bounced much earlier. So we only have one player who's still out, and it's actually our loanee, Nordin Adjali, on the Algerian team. So we have our team back now, which is nice. But for that first game on like the 4th, we were operating with a skeleton crew. We had our new loanee and 10 other starters, and then one bench player we were happy with. And then the rest were just call-ups, or a few were loanees we'd brought back who weren't having good loan spells on other teams. And then other than that, it was B team, which is terrible, and U21 call-ups, which in case of James Bassey is all right. But we've done well enough in that. So our last game was this draw against Tottenham that put us into first place in the group officially. Then we drew with Gijón on the road. A bit disappointed. It took us until 90 plus 4 to grab that draw at that. Gijón's not a great side. And then we proceeded to lose at Villarreal. Road games have been real tough for us this year. Not doing a great job breaking down other teams. And then we had, this was the first game where again we were, playing Jose Vicente and James Bassey, guys who are loanees, are like 16, 17, and 18. We didn't really even try in this Atletico Madrid game, the Supercopa de España, because we just had so many games with so few players, because we just had so few players. But we actually managed to, it's a relatively easy stretch. Malaga at home, Real Betis at home, Rayo Vallecano on the road. But by this time, we started getting some of our players back, and also went over Lanés in the Copa del Rey 3rd round. We also beat Fuenlabrada. Oh, man, I hate pronouncing that team. In the 4th round of the Copa del Rey. So the Copa del Rey quarterfinals draw has happened, and we have Sevilla at home this time, so that'll be good for us. We drew our Champions League first round knockout, and we got exactly who we would have chosen to get, Rangers. Basically the only team that isn't from the Big Five, I believe. Well, one of two, the other being Benfica, who kind of are almost the exception to the rule with how decent they are. But so we got the one we really wanted to face, so I think we should be strongly favored to make through to the second knockout round. We didn't lose anyone. We did have to deal with some signing woes. We had to sign new contract for Hassan Kasama, our center back. Someone came in and triggered his release clause, and so we went and triggered it, give him a new contract with a like $70 million release clause, and give him an extra $1 million a year. He was quite happy with that. He didn't want to go to the lower level club anyways, just for that fee. So that worked out fine. We had other players come in and try to, come in and try and upset him. The only one that was really dangerous is, I believe it was one of the top German sides. I can't remember if it was Bayern or Hertha Berlin. Came in and upset Nordin Hamidi. And they didn't even come in and offer like his release clause of $85 million. They were trying to get him for like 40 or something, but he really wanted to go because they're a better reputation team than us. And he wasn't letting me like just offer him a new contract. He's like, gotta compete for the Champions League. I'm like, dude, we're in the Champions League knockouts. We have Rangers. We have a definite chance to make farther. So I had to make an actual promise to get to the latter stages of the Champions League. Who knows what latter stages means? Is just winning against Rangers enough? I sure hope so. If not, well, we'll see. I will probably want to get him on a new contract if I can. I think it would be reasonable at that. He signed through 2033. So yeah, we should probably get him on a new contract so that even if we fail that, we can just go, well, you're under a new contract, dude, for another 5 years. So we're going to just deal with you being unhappy now. So yeah, we don't need to have the B team or the U19 team in here. I don't know why it wants Malambo to start over Ahmed Sami. I guess Sami's on a heavy workload, but we're playing Barcelona. We need to start our best players, even if they're a little tired. I guess we'll bring in Ananu over some fake goalkeeper. Swap that. I assume there's a reason we're not starting Gabriel. Oh, he's suspended, sure. Hassan, Kone, Santos. Sure, seems fine. Yep. My white whale has finally officially gotten away from me. Innocent Makalane is no longer an option. Not for another year and a half or so anyways, at best. All the big teams did come in on him, and eventually Liverpool, made their bid, and so they paid $7.25 million, and they're paying him $4 million a year or so, and they have Innocent Makalani on the roster, which is, aggravating, because I'd been on this guy since he was 17, and, when he was 18, for some reason, he thought Melilla was a terrible city or something, and chose to go to Kansas City over us, even though we would have paid him more money. We would have, had him as a starter on a Champions League qualifying team, a European qualifying team, as opposed to, he played in the North American Cup is, but, could have been doing so much more. But, so our hope, I guess, is that Liverpool still doesn't start him over the next year and a half, and lets him rot, and then we can come in when he's 21, 22, and grab him up and offer him actual playing time then. Santos just high over the goalkeeper. But it'll probably be, even then, it'll be probably pretty expensive to pry him away from a team like Liverpool, even if he isn't playing. That was a dangerous slide tackle from Sammy on a bad pass back from Hassan. Do a good job of getting on Kone, but does a good job of avoiding it. Like the cross there, but blocked by the defense, but that'll go as a corner. Yusuf will take it, left-footed. And again, we don't really have our one center back who's actually kind of competent at heading on the pitch. Okay, but he was so offsides, it wasn't even funny. Like, next up, I'm trying to line up on sides, Ernest. Hamidi will play back to Yusuf. Some dangerous passing that I don't quite love with the pressing striker right between the two center backs, but doesn't get punished this time. Jim to Issa to Kone. Some nice little ping pong passing. Jim, you need to put some pace on that, buddy. Just a roller that the goalkeeper easily saves. So, yeah, that Innocent Makalani is off the board as a player for us. A very sad day. But I've started tracking my next player. He, in fact, plays for Barcelona. I mean, he doesn't play for Barcelona. He plays for Barcelona's youth side. Right now, he is 17 years old. He is a left back, and I think he's going to be amazing. And so my hope is that at age 18, we can come in. Whew, could have been a dangerous opportunity if he'd been able to get it cleanly on his foot, but he wasn't, luckily, so bounced and Babangida made the save. They are winning the XG battle, possession battle. It's not my favorite thing. Jim, come on. Don't just sit there with the ball, especially when the defenders are right on you. Good passing, beautiful. Come on, Bennett. Rounds the keeper, Bennett Issa, 10th goal of the year for the attacking center midfielder from South Africa, assisted by Theo Jim. Beautiful stuff, great action. Just keep the ball moving the whole time, and that's exactly what we want from the center midfield when the striker tucks back in to help in the attacking build-up to kind of replace them, and oftentimes the center backs will lose them, and Benedisa can take advantage. So yeah, this new kid is a left back who is coming up through the Barcelona system. Right now he has a release clause somewhere $7-8 million, getting paid about $1 million a year. I would, be happy to pay that release clause and to give him $1.5-2 million a year to essentially split starts with Ahmed Sami. We could play Sami more at the midfield spots in rotation to make sure that he's still getting a reasonable amount of game time, because Sami is an important player and he's a captain, so we don't want to just completely make him go 50-50, but this new kid would be the future. We also have an eye on a goalkeeper out of, I think it's Espanyol. Again, both these players are coming up with their Spanish systems and might even have Spanish first nationality, but both do have African second nationalities. And the goalkeeper from Espanyol, I feel like he's a 2-star player already, with full 5-star potential. He might be the guy to... Raf! Yellow card that man. Tripped our guy. To unseat Babangida. Like that first year, if we can get him when he's just 18, he might not be as good as Babangida the first year, so we might dip down if we aggressively play him, though maybe we can rotate the two decently. But then that next year, I feel like, because again, he's just 16, so he's still got another 2 years of development. I think he could be a monster. So hopefully Espanyol has a really good goalkeeper they like, so they just kind of forget about this guy, let him play at the youth side, and then go, oh, I guess we'll sell him on. Don't really need him. We've still got Bill. Bill's, 27. He's got plenty of years left. And we sneak in and grab Ndaya, I think, is his last name. Santos comes away with the ball, puts it back to Sessignon. Looks for Kone, leading him. Nice. Gets under it. Does decent job running past the defender. Ball's played to Jim. Little back foot play. Well, I can't fault the ambition, Yusuf, but maybe next time that something's a little more likely to actually happen. Jim and or Issa is probably coming off here. They're both tiring out. I think it was Jim who was going down first. Kone on the right wing. Let's bring in the other Kone and switch him and Santos. And Matsima at defensive mid. Sure, why not? Hassan will take the free kick. Someone was getting in the way there. Still a good kick. Had to be parried by the goalkeeper, and we'll take the boo outswinger by Sessignon. Oh, and there it is, Matsima, second goal of the year. Our defensive midfielder, in this case, getting forward. Our center back who can actually head the ball decently. Hits Manti, I believe it was, in the hands. Mental. But he can't hold it because it's headed well enough, and Matsima gets us our second goal of the game. And give us a little breathing room against Barcelona, but with 20 minutes and some extra to play, game is certainly not over yet. Bamangita, decent enough diving save, as Barcelona do a good job of putting some pressure on us immediately after. But Bamangita goes up and catches the corner. Issa will reinitiate here, finds Hassan. It's kind of just turned and fired. Would like to see if he could have found a defender or an attacker on a cross, or maybe taken a dribble to find a better shot. There was definitely a hole there for them to take that shot they just took, but I'm glad it missed. Did Diviv get a step? He wasn't offsides to start, I don't believe. Well, whoever held him on was an idiot. It was a poor job. Alright, Sammy with the throw-in. Up to Issa. Play back to Matsima. Back to Kasama. Matsima, there we go. Finds Santos on the edge. Plays it back to Sessignon. Give and go with Santos. There it is. Beautiful strike from Jeffrey Santos. 15th goal of the year. Assisted by Steven Sessignon. And there's some celebration for the Malia hometown faithful. Yep, just completely flummoxing the fact that no center backs were willing to come out and pressure them, and that they had a functional 2-on-1 against that poor left back. We went a header that might have been a little dangerous, and was probably their last good attacking gasp. Sergio Kone running out with the ball. Unfortunately blocked by a good defender, but you know what? The most important thing is time, and that's on our side. And hey, that's got to be it, right? And so it was. An acceptable performance from Malia today. Lots of fouls from Barcelona. They had 7 yellow cards handed out. Hopefully that was, deserved, not just official bias. But either way, I'll take it. 3 goals for the good guys. That will certainly help us in the standings. We are now on, after 22 games, which is pretty much everyone other than the bottom 3 or 4. Interesting that Vallecano's missed 2 games here. So we're even pegging with basically everyone we could compare to. We are currently sitting in Champions League qualification. It is just at the butt of it, but we are just 1 point back from Barcelona, 2 points back from Atletico Madrid, and 4 points ahead of Real Sociedad and Europa League play. So that's certainly nice. Have to give $2 million to Dortmund because Ben Issa scored 10 goals for us. That's more than fine. Sessignon, good job with the passes, amigo. Our players are still of interest from other teams. Boo. Going forward, we've got a Copa del Rey home quarter final against Sevilla. A road trip to Bilbao. They're in 17th. Not very good this year. home game of Osasuna. They're terrible. Should win that. A road trip to Rangers up to Scotland to start us off. Then a road trip to Valencia. They're in 8th. Home games against Almeria in a very competent 6th place. They also Almeria signed a player I wanted. I was trying to actually make a deal. Then Elche in 19th, and the Champions League knockout resolution here. And the next game I'll be sharing with you, this home game against Rangers here in the middle of March. Almeria signed a right back, Amadou Gomez, Portuguese kid of Guinea-Bissau descent, from Benfica. As you see, physical block, very, very solid. 6'2", so good size. Could probably rotate in at center back. There doesn't have any experience there. Very good mentals. Only thing that's below a 10 is off the ball. Marking, tackling, passing, all solid. 9 crossing, 7 dribbling. You like to see the dribbling get a little higher, but solid 2.5-star player. Definitely can move up to a 3-star player at 20, maybe even 3.5. I believe we think he has 3.5 to maybe 4.5-star potential. So he could definitely be a player. And we tried. He had a $29 million release clause from Benfica, and we activated it. Well, we first tried to get a composite deal through, like $15 million up front, another $5 million over the next 3 years, another $5 million for something super easy for him to make, another $4 million. That was maybe a little harder for us to make, but altogether added up to 29. Benfica didn't have any interest in a deal like that. They wanted a lot of money, so we just canceled that all and went straight up to 29 straight away. And this was about a week to go in the transfer window. And man, I swear to God, they lie about his agent, Zhao Liao, who has an unfriendly relationship with me. I don't think we have a relationship before this negotiations, but now he hates me, which is wild to me. So in the first negotiation, he's the sort who goes, well, why don't you tell me what you're willing to offer me? And so I have no idea. I just I click the button that says get the assistant manager to put in a deal, which is always a lowball deal. But he is aggrieved. He's offended. Comes back with like double the price because our assistant manager is like 500,000 something. All this stuff. He's like $1 million, and then after 20 games, 1.4, and after 25 games, 1.8, and a 10% increase every year. I'm like, I'll pay you $1 million, sure. I think you're that good, and I want you on the team. But we're gonna kill that 10% increase. That's not happening. And the 1.8 million happens after 30 games, not after 25. And he goes, no deal. We're done negotiating. And I'm like, dude, your 8 clients making $250,000. I'm willing to triple his salary right now. He's going to go from Benfica to, which is admittedly a good side, but one where he hasn't been playing, to a side that wants him and will be playing him. We promised him I think like squad player for the first year and then regular starter the next year. Like, we promised him regular minutes. And, his agent is allegedly a patient negotiator. How the fuck was that a patient negotiation? We made an offer, he made a counter offer, we adjusted his counter offer, but not that much, and he just went, no, we're done, instead of countering my counter. Like, insane. I wait till one day before the transfer window ends, and I make the offer again, $29 million for this guy, and go into the requests, and we move our initial offer up, but it's still under. I guess that's my mistake, that it's still under where I knew he was. But instead of offering $500,000 to start, I offer I believe about $800,000 to start. He is offended. He is shocked and appalled, and so he comes back at like $1.1 million and 20 games, 1.5, and 5% increase clause, and so I trimmed the increase clause, and that was basically it. And I said, okay, how about this? willing to give him his $1.1 million. And he goes, no, we're done here. Patient negotiator? What a fucking lie. So yeah, screw Zhao Liao, and I should take the opportunity to screw with any of his clients I can, I guess, because I don't like him either. He doesn't like me. I don't like him. So yeah, that's where we're at. That is what we're doing. Mamadou Diaga, this is the left back I'm interested in from Barcelona. As you can see, he looks great. 2-star player, 4 and a 5th. I want him. I have a note on him, just like I did on Innocent Makalane, which is probably a bad sign when his 18th birthday is. I want to sign him immediately. Get his pace up 1 point, maybe 2, and he will be exceptional. Already better than Amadou Gomez, 10 crossing, 9 dribbling. Those are better already. 15 tackling. This kid's good. And then Ousmane Ndaya is the 16-year-old from Espanyol, who I think is a goalkeeper that can legitimately challenge Babangida. He's got some aerial reach that Babangida doesn't, that I think would really help. So yeah, that's my long-term move to the future. We'll see how they go. But in the meanwhile, next thing up, Rangers. Focused on that. And the Copa del Rey quarterfinal. So once again, thanks for joining me. Always like to hear from you, so don't hesitate to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And I hope you have a very lovely day. And I'll see you again very soon. Bye.